I bring to you the fire. Yes, Yvonne did it. She gave us the fire that we deserve. Well, maybe not the one we deserve. Maybe a little better than the one we deserve. And I think it looks great. All the details and ooh, it just feels like it'll burn you. So I figured, why not wear flames myself? So it's like I'm on fire while reading to you from 5-Minute Hockey Stories. Now available at Kohl's. Tonight, magic in the ice. When you watch a hockey team win a game, what do you think made that happen? Was it the goalie who stopped the shots? Was it the players that scored the goals? Was it the coach? Okay, what about the people who made the ice that the players skate on? If you've never thought about the ice makers, that's not surprising. But they make the ice hard and smooth so the players can play better. And every once in a while they add a little magic too. And if you look, kids, you'll see there's an ice maker. See? That's what Canadian Trent Evans did when he made the ice rink for the gold medal hockey games at the 2002 Olympics. Those were Olympics that took place in the year 2002. Men and women's teams from all over the world were coming to play hockey in the Salt Lake City Olympic Games. Trent had been asked to help make the rinks. There he is hanging out. He was excited. The rink he was working on would be used by both Canadian hockey teams, the women and the men's, and they would be playing for the biggest prize of the Olympics, the gold medal. But Trent was also worried. The women's team would be playing the United States. They'd lost to the Americans at the last Olympic Games. And the men's team, they hadn't won a gold medal at the Olympics for 50 years. Lazy Canadians. I'm just adding that. That's not in the book. Millions of Canadians would be watching the games in the arena and on TV, and every one of them wanted to see the teams get gold medals. Trent knew that if the teams won, the whole country would be happy. If they lost, well, Trent started to work on the ice. After he put down the first few layers, he walked to the center of the rink. Usually there was a yellow dot painted at the bottom of the ice so that later the ice makers would know exactly where to put the face-off circle. But when Trent looked down, he couldn't see anything there. He would have to add that dot now. There wasn't any paint around. But that wasn't going to be a problem. Trent already had a plan. Trent wanted to help his teams. He knew that making perfect ice was the best way, but he also thought he might be able to make the ice special and lucky for the Canadians. He dug into his pocket and took out a Canadian dime. He placed it in the middle of the ice where the dot should have been. When he put down the next layer of ice, Trent couldn't see the dime. So he put his hand in his pocket again and pulled out a gold-colored coin, a loonie, worth $1. Now you know. He put it carefully over the dime and then added more water to the rink to make the last few layers of ice. Trent didn't want anyone else to find out about the loonie, but he thought it might help if the Canadian players knew, so he shared the secret with them. Now you just have to wait and see if it worked. And here he is, whispering to, looks like a 10-year-old kid who looks terrified. Supposed to tell the players, not some little kid. A day later, the women's hockey team had their game. The Canadians played well, but so did the Americans. In the final period, Canada was ahead by 1 goal, but the Americans kept shooting at the net. Try as they might, they couldn't tie the game. The Canadians won. When the game ended, all the Canadian players were jumping around, laughing and smiling. Trent was on the ice too, clearing away equipment. Then he noticed 3 players skating over to the center of the rink. They dropped to their knees and kissed the ice, right where that loonie was. Trent was scared. What if the Americans wondered why they'd done that? What if someone checked and saw the loonie? Trent would then have to take it out before the men played. He wanted to rush over, tell them to stop, but then the players skated away. Phew. A few days later, it was the men's turn to play the American team. Trent noticed that the Canadian captain tapped his stick quickly on the ice on top of the loonie before the opening face-off. Trent took a breath. Would the loonie bring luck a second time? Would the loonie help the Canadian men win the gold after 50 long years? See, here's the Canadian women and the Canadian men. The Canadian players flew across the ice. The goalie stopped puck after puck. They were up 1 goal, then 2, then 3. In the last few minutes of the game, the fans were so excited they started singing "Oh Canada." Finally, the buzzer went. The Canadians had won. Trent was smiling. Now the men would get shiny gold medals. just like the women. There's the guys celebrating. It's a nice USA jersey. I could have Nike should have seen this. That's a nice USA jersey right there. There's red on it. There's no baby blue. But Trent didn't have to celebrate. Not yet. Didn't have the time. He didn't want anyone else finding the lucky loony. He didn't want anyone else taking it away. As soon as the rink emptied, the players back in the locker room celebrating, the fans all leaving the arena and heading home, Trent walked across the ice. It no longer looked hard and smooth. It was scratched and scuffed, but Trent was proud of the ice he had made, and proud of the little bit of magic he buried inside of it. When he got to the center of the rink, he kneeled down and began to dig for his coin. Soon he had the lucky loony in his hand. There it is. Lucky loony. And there you go. That's the story of the night. The magic loony. So anytime somebody's bothering you, bury a loony in their forehead. Your luck will get better. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.